Gravity keeps your feet firmly planted on the ground. That's why the average person's vertical jump is only about 0.5 meters high. But if we were to live on another planet, like Venus or Saturn, what kinds of challenges would we face? Let's find out. We'll start with Mercury. It's the closest planet to the Sun. Its gravity is less than half of Earth's, so you'd be able to jump about 1.2 meters high. But that's only if you can withstand the scorching heat of 430 degrees Celsius in direct sunlight. That would feel like standing on the slope of a volcano, right inside the crimson-red lava. And nighttime isn't much better. The burning air rapidly cools to minus 173 degrees Celsius. You'd also need plenty of patience, because one day on Mercury lasts the equivalent of 176 Earth days, leaving this uninhabitable world behind. Let's move on to an even harsher one, Venus. If it weren't for the thick, swirling clouds above, you could actually see Earth from here. But those clouds create a terrifying greenhouse effect and crushing atmospheric pressure. If you tried to jump here, you'd only reach about 0.6 meters. That's because Earth and Venus are nearly identical in size and mass, though Venus is slightly smaller. And aside from the furnace-like heat, the rain won't bring you any relief either. High above, those clouds are made of sulfuric acid. Now let's skip past our home, Earth, and head straight to its satellite, the Moon. Here, gravity is less than 1/5 of Earth's, so if you jumped, you could soar nearly 2.7 meters high, and wouldn't touch the ground again for several seconds. It's hard to believe that this barren rock in space controls Earth's tides, and if you stayed on the Moon for millions of years, you could actually watch it drift farther and farther away from Earth. Next stop, Mars. On this red planet, a vertical jump would get you about 1.2 meters off the ground. That is, if there's enough air to breathe. Mars does have an atmosphere, but it's far thinner than Earth's. At dusk, you'd be able to witness a stunning blue sunset. From here, you might also see the tallest mountain in the solar system, Olympus Mons. It's nearly 3 times taller than Everest. Oh, and yes, it's also a volcano. From Mars, let's head to one of its moons, Phobos. Stand your ground, but whatever you do, don't jump. Gravity here is so weak that if you did, you might never come back down. Compared to other moons in the solar system, Phobos is tiny, just about the size of a large asteroid. It orbits Mars, almost 100 times closer than the Moon orbits Earth. It's destined to be pulled in by Mars' gravity, and eventually torn apart. Scientists believe that when that happens, Mars could end up with rings like Saturn's. Now let's check out a curious object, Ceres. It's the largest asteroid in the solar system, so big that it was later reclassified as a dwarf planet. It sits almost exactly between Mars and Jupiter, in the main asteroid belt. Here, a single jump could launch you nearly 16 meters high, before you gently float back down. Ceres alone makes up a third of the asteroid belt's total mass. Fast forward to our next destination, Jupiter. As a gas giant, it has no solid surface, so jumping here doesn't really make sense. But if you insist, you'd barely get 0.15 meters off the ground. Jupiter is more than 10 times Earth's size, and 300 times its mass. That means its gravity is absolutely enormous. Its surface also hosts a colossal storm that's been raging for at least 4 centuries. Though it's shrinking, it's still so vast that the entire Earth could fit inside it. Our next stop is Ganymede, Jupiter's largest moon. Here, you'd have solid ground beneath your feet, so you could leap over 3 meters high. This moon is even larger than Mercury, but with far less mass. Its gravity is relatively weak. It's covered with thick layers of ice, and deep beneath lies a liquid metallic core. That core is what makes it the only moon with a strong magnetic field. Now on to Saturn, the second largest gas giant in the solar system. Its size is only slightly smaller than Jupiter's, and could hold 9.5 Earths, but its mass is much lower. If it had a solid surface to jump from, you'd reach about 0.4 meters in height, almost the same as on Earth. Saturn is most famous for its rings, formed from dust and ice particles, left behind after countless space collisions. It spins so fast that it has stretched itself into a flattened, oval shape. It also has 62 moons, just 5 fewer than Jupiter. Among them is Titan, Saturn's largest moon. Here, you could jump nearly 3.3 meters high. Its atmosphere is remarkable, dense and made mostly of nitrogen, casting a constant haze over the surface. The ground is almost entirely ice, though rock layers lie beneath. Water is thought to exist only deep below, near the core. And Titan has a strange phenomenon, cryovolcanoes, which erupt ice instead of lava. Next stop, Uranus, another giant, but an ice giant. Its composition is similar to Jupiter and Saturn, but its atmosphere and mantle contain far more ice. Here, you could jump about 0.6 meters. Uranus is also the coldest planet in the solar system. plunging to minus 226 degrees Celsius, colder than liquid nitrogen. You'd freeze solid in an instant. Brutal, right? Now let's head to its sibling, Neptune. It's also an ice giant, slightly smaller in size, but more massive, which makes its gravity even stronger. Here, you'd barely jump, 0.4 meters high. A single year on Neptune equals nearly 165 Earth years, since it's 30 times farther from the Sun than Earth. In fact, it was the last planet to be confirmed in the solar system. But our jumping journey isn't over yet. Now let's visit Triton, one of Neptune's moons. Its gravity isn't extremely weak, but a simple leap could still send you soaring nearly 5.8 meters. Triton is the only moon that orbits in retrograde, meaning it circles Neptune in the opposite direction of the planet's rotation. It also has a unique surface feature, dubbed the cantaloupe terrain, because of its melon-like textures. Next up is Pluto, dark and lonely. Once the 9th planet, now just a dwarf planet. Its gravity is slightly weaker than Triton's, so you could jump more than 7.6 meters high here. Pluto is far too small to count as a true planet. It's actually smaller than many moons, including ours. Its atmosphere even comes and goes. When Pluto nears the Sun, its surface ice evaporates to form gases. But when it drifts away, that layer vanishes. So if you want to breathe here, you'd better hurry. Finally, we arrive at Eris. This dwarf planet wanders in and out of the Kuiper belt, a second asteroid belt, 20 times wider than the one between Mars and Jupiter. On Eris, a jump would send you soaring about 5.5 meters high. In fact, its discovery was what led to the dwarf planet classification. Astronomers originally wanted to declare it the solar system's 10th planet, but they changed their minds. And if they hadn't, who knows? Maybe today we'd be counting more planets. Just a reminder, the universe doesn't care how we define planets or moons. It's busy with far more important things.